Personally, if I were Bella Hadid, I'd be Bella Hadid. We're all Bella Hadid if you think about it. Cause like, I'm Bella Hadid. No, I'm Bella Hadid. No, I'm Bella Hadid. Guys, stop. We can all be Bella Hadid. What makes Bella Hadid an it girl? Why does everyone like Bella Hadid? Let me tell you, when I first saw Bella Hadid, my brain rewired itself. And it thought, man, I think in order to explore why Bella Hadid has become such an it girl these days and everyone aspires to be her in some form or fashion, get it? I think it's because Bella Hadid is offering something new to this generation. We've seen celebrity culture shift and change, especially in the days of influencers. And personally, if that were me, if I were Bella Hadid, I'd be honored to be the Bella Hadid of this generation. So who is Bella Hadid, first of all? If you don't know who Bella Hadid is, Isabella Hadid was born in October 6th, 1996 in Washington, D.C. Her mother, Yolanda Hadid, was a Dutch former model, and her father is a real estate developer, and he's Palestinian born. Her parents had two other children, Anwar Hadid and Gigi Hadid. If you haven't read the Vogue profile of her, I believe it's April 2022, I think it's a really great insight into who Bella Hadid is in an up-close and personal kind of way. Funny enough, I have it just laying around here, just casually, just laying around. Sometimes it just chills, it sleeps in bed with me. But she was the cover of April 2022. And I'm gonna read some excerpts from it to kind of give us more insight as to why Bella Hadid is the it girl. Bella admits, based off of the April 2022 Vogue profile, that she doesn't remember much of her childhood due to trauma. She remembers horseback riding and living in Santa Barbara and Malibu. She's like a California girl at heart. Those kind of towns had more of a laid-back surfer vibe, and it's kind of what Bella's more used to. It's definitely different from the typical billionaire lifestyle. I feel like in New York City, it's like the exact opposite of, I believe, what Bella Hadid is living now. In 2011, Bella Hadid's mother, Yolanda Hadid, married David Foster, who's a music producer, and Yolanda starred in The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which Bella Hadid didn't really like. Bella says that she never watched the show, and her and Gigi would hide upstairs when they were filming. Bella seemed to gravitate towards things that weren't really in the culture of those around her. And though that kind of culture was more lavish lifestyle, which is funny now because she's a model and you would think that she naturally gravitated towards those things, but she really didn't. She liked horseback riding, which I know is like a rich white girl thing to like, but I think if you are in an environment where everyone likes to collect Birkins or, likes to take private jets everywhere, it's a little bit more toned down. And I know her sister Gigi really liked playing volleyball, and those kind of sports were more masculine in that sense. She also wanted to pursue photography as a career. Notably, in the article, she mentioned she wants to go to University of San Francisco, move in with her best friend, and pursue a photography career. She says, "The girls on the other side of LA, it was about a platform Louboutin and an Hermes bag. I thought to myself, I could never ask my parents for that. If I asked, I wouldn't get it. But I wouldn't ask. Who am I at 16 to carry around a Birkin?" Personally, I don't mind doing that. But, Bella Hadid humbles me. I have been humbled. Bella Hadid ended up going to Parsons, which is a design school here in New York, and she pursued a major in photography. Surprise. And while she was pursuing college and being a photographer, she was also signed to IMG Models. Bella Hadid, being a fashion icon figure, surprisingly, loves fashion. She loves Jean Paul Gaultier, she loves Hermes, Celine, Vivienne Westwood, Versace, Mugler, and apparently she collects sneakers too, but she never wears them. And I remember the D-Day of Bella Hadid's video of her talking about sneakers.
Got some Jordans. Homeboy's gonna
I was suffering. I was defending her like my life depended on it. It was so humiliating. It's okay, Bella. If no one got me, Bella Hadid got me. She's also on Depop and she loves buying things on there. She claims to be obsessed with checking her reviews, even as a buyer, and she's kind of like, do these people know that it's me? Now I know who's buying all that raggedy shit on there. Now I know. Oh, it's a war on there. Bella is confident to what her style is, and I think it's pretty evident on pictures of her streetwear that we've seen. In her Vogue April 2022 profile, she says, I'm dead on. I know what I like, I've always have since I was young, and I've never drifted. Personally, me, I've gone through so many stages of embarrassment. I don't know what I like, and I still don't know what I like, because you know what? I'm fake. You know those tweets that are like, I overthink so hard and I love so hard. Those kind of like cheesy, corny tweets. Let's start doing like the exact opposite. Like, I'm fake. I hate people. I love hating on people. Yeah. Her impact on these streets is very evident. Some people show up in the most fuggliest outfits I ever seen, and I know to my core that it was inspired by Bella Hadid. It just looks a little fugglier because it's a little confused. Can you blame us though? We can't afford vintage designer pieces all the time. Like, let's be honest. I'm gonna wear my thrifted Goodwill grandma 1980s shirt around and pretend I'm Bella Hadid, and I will be happy with that. That is perfectly okay. We should socially accept it, no matter who we are in this world. I'm the fugglier Bella Hadid. I just started rambling because, honestly, sometimes mental illness does that to you. My joint slay with my pill bottle. So today we're gonna be doing a beauty tutorial. I'm trying to cover it so I don't look freakish. Today we'll be doing a beauty tutorial. So first I'd like to take this because it makes my brain way better. I don't wake up insane. Bella Hadid is creative at her core. And I'm not saying this as like a stan, okay? Like I'm not really into celebrity culture, but I think it's really fascinating to see who Bella Hadid is in general because her impact is again, very evident. She says during shoots that she garners more insight in what direction people are taking. She says, on set, everybody laughs at me because I'm going around asking people about the lights or why some photographer liked to shoot on a Hasselblad, girl, come on. Or how the art director decided on the character he wanted me to be. I look like I might be micromanaging, but what's happening is I am production. I am creative. I'm figuring out what hair and makeup are doing. I'm helping with styling. I love to be a part of that process. Sometimes I think I love everything except being in front of the camera, which is crazy. Because if I were Bella Hadid personally, I'd be in every camera ever. Security footage, literally anywhere you could see me, I would be there. Guantanamo Bay. First model at Guantanamo Bay would be me. Guantanamo Bay is like really messed up. So, is my hair giving homeschool hair? I know it's like long and right now it's frizzy because it's freaking humid in New York and somehow it's seeping into the apartment and I feel freaking ugly. Fugly. I feel fugly. Sorry. You know, when you're comparing yourself to Bella Hadid, it's very hard to be confident. Actually, Bella Hadid's my cousin. She's like I know her very well, and like me and her are really good friends. And she actually gave me this Issey Miyake top. I don't know if you knew, but it's an Issey Miyake top. I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, so. Yeah, like her dad and my dad are really good friends. I know my dad's not present in my life, but that's because he's always hanging out with her dad, like all the time. So that's why. I'm just saying. Bella has been very forefront about her struggles with everything, which is very eye-opening, and especially as someone who does struggle with some parts of mental health and everything, I feel comforted by the fact that other people who are insanely successful still go through the same thing. In the 8th grade, Bella started having symptoms that were attributed to Lyme disease, which her brother and her mother have. Common symptoms of Lyme disease are fatigue, fever, stiffness or swelling in the joints, muscles, and rashes. With that, Bella has also been diagnosed with babesiosis. I'm just gonna write it right here because I don't know how to pronounce that word, which is an infection of the red blood cells. It's rare and it also can be life-threatening. Bella at 20 years old was diagnosed with hyperthyroidism and she's undergoing hormone replacement for that. Trigger warning for those who are listening in, trigger warning for mentions of weight, eating disorders. I'll timestamp where you can skip ahead to make sure you can skip that part. So her psychiatric symptoms in high school were attributed to ADHD by a psychiatrist. She was on extended release Adderall. She says, I was on this calorie counting app, which was like the devil to me. I packed my little lunch with 3 raspberries, my celery stick. I was just trying. I realize now to feel in control of myself when I felt so out of control of everything else. I can barely look in the mirror to this day because of that period in my life. Bella has said that she has more of a healthy relationship with food, but of course, body image can be very difficult to deal with at times because society, especially I'm sure as being a model, has always told people what they're supposed to look like. If you have followed Bella Hadid for a while, I'm sure you remember, but in 2021, Bella Hadid posted pictures of herself crying. Bella is very open about her struggles with anxiety and depression. Though Bella Hadid is not the first celebrity or influencer to say anything about mental health on Instagram, I think it's so important because she holds so much power as being a model to be very candid about her life. She says, even though on Instagram things look so beautiful, at the end of the day, we are all cut from the same cloth. I felt like it was just good for me to be able to speak my truth, and at some point I wasn't able to post pretty pictures anymore. I was over it. I don't have to be on Instagram forever. I feel like real is the new real, and that's what's important to me. She addressed her relationship with social media in the original post. She says, social media is not real. For anyone struggling, please remember that. Sometimes all you gotta hear is that you're not alone. So from me to you, you're not alone. I love you, I see you, and I hear you. Self-help and mental illness / chemical imbalance is not linear, and it is almost like a flowing roller coaster of obstacles. It has its ups and downs and sides to sides. But I want you to know there is always a light at the end of the tunnel, and the roller coaster always comes to a complete stop at some point. She felt that it felt harder and harder not to share her truth on there. How others see Bella Hadid is very interesting because she has actually a very good reputation with a lot of people. Michael Kors commented on how kind Bella Hadid is to him and everyone working around him. That means literally everyone from top designers to stylists to personal assistants, which is not really typical in the fashion industry, and that's a lot coming from one of the most famous models on earth right now. Bella is also candid about the model life, which we've established before, but she's mentioned in the fashion industry about all the horrors that a lot of girls go through. She talks about the girls who are up at 4 a.m. still at fittings, and they have to go to a job at 7, and how exhausted they are. She mentions a moment for Saint Laurent where she couldn't fit in the show look, and she felt like in the moment, she felt like she was the problem. But in reality, the show looks are of course really, really small. Bella Hadid also reveals that at 14 she had a nose job, which she regrets. She wishes she kept the nose her ancestors gave her, and if you weren't sure of what her lineage is, she's very open about being Palestinian or half Palestinian. Bella also claims to not have any other plastic surgery done except for her nose. She says, people think I fully fucked with my face because of one picture of me as a teenager looking puffy. I'm pretty sure you don't look the same as you did at 13, right? I've never used filler. Let's just put an end to that. I have no issues with it, but it's not for me. Whoever thinks I've gotten my eyes lifted or whatever it's called, it's face tape, the oldest trick in the book. I've had this imposter syndrome where people made me feel like I didn't deserve any of this. People always have something to say, but what I have to say is, I've always been misunderstood in my industry and by the people around me. In the beginning of 2021, Bella says that she experienced burnout and she resorted to people pleasing, which kind of in turn made her a little manic. She says she bleached her hair and then dyed it and she looked like a troll doll. Trigger warning for mental health. I'll also put the timestamp here to skip ahead. Not too long after intense pressure, she started having a hard time getting up every single day. She felt a lot of intense despair to the point where at times she felt like she teetered on the line of suicide. She stayed a little over 2 weeks at a treatment program in Tennessee. She says she's in therapy and on an antidepressant, and she says she feels a lot better. Gigi, Bella Hadid's older sister, which I did not know she was older for a long time. I thought Bella was the older one. I don't know why. Someone psychoanalyzed that. But she comments on Bella's attitude on life. She says, Bella leads with her heart, and that's beautiful, but you learn the hard way to guard yourself. Most people, myself included, build at least a small wall after you feel vulnerable in these often unusual life situations. It seems to me like Bella does not, or she puts up one brick at a time. During Fashion Month, for example, even if it leads to feeling essentially emotionally burnt out, Bella spends every day backstage in fittings with fans, doing it all with most energy and love, while the rest of us are zombies. Because I know that she's sometimes internally struggling in the midst of all flashing lights. The big sister in me wants to be protective. But I also know that's the magic of Bella. And I think that's true. We've seen a lot of fans talk about how nice Bella is when they meet her, and her reputation in the fashion industry is incredible. Bella has notably struggled with her perception of herself, but also in comparison to her sister. I won't really get into that because I feel like that drama is really unnecessary. This is more so speaking on how Bella Hadid has become such an impactful figure rather than what's going on with the Hadids. I don't really care. But she says, I was the uglier sister. I was a brunette. I wasn't as cool as Gigi, not as outgoing. That's really what people said about me, and unfortunately, when you get told these things so many times, you do just believe it. I always ask myself, how did a girl with incredible insecurities, anxiety, depression, body image issues, eating issues, who hated to be touched, who has intense social anxiety, what was I doing getting to this business? But over the years, I became a good actress. I put on a very smiley face, or a very strong face. I always felt like I had something to prove. People can say anything about how I look, about how I talk, about how I act. But in 7 years, I never missed a job, canceled a job, or was late to a job. No one can ever say that I don't work my ass off. This kind of speaks to who Bella is at her core as a person. I mean, people comment on how kind she is. She mentions how she's never late to a job. And also, Bella is a very spiritual person who engages in channeling energy. This goes hand in hand with her holistic practices in wellness. She says she connects with all religions, that there's my way is the right way thing in human nature, but for me, it's not about my God or your God. I kind of just call on whoever is willing to be there for me. Bella has also been very outspokenly pro-Palestinian. She's been seen in several pro-Palestine protests in Brooklyn. Of course, this always garners backlash. Any political comment will. And she's felt hurt by that. She says, I truly respect Judaism. I think it's a beautiful religion. This is about a government system suppressing people. After that happened, I spent days miserable in my own thoughts trying to write everything down. And it always just felt like I was damned if I did, damned if I didn't. I would never want anyone not to be able to have a place that they feel is their home. But I feel that Palestinians deserve the same. It's a big conundrum. Bella wears her heart out on her sleeve, but she also has patterns of overworking herself to prove something either to herself, to people. She mentions that in New York Fashion Week, she cried before she even opened her eyes that day. She estimated that she has worked 350 days out of the 365 days a year for the past 7 years, and now she's trying to reclaim back her time. She says, to have to wake up every morning with this brain, it's not cute. So now everything that I do in my personal life is literally to make sure that my mental state stays above water. Fashion can make you or break you. And if it makes you, you have to make a conscious effort every day for it to not break you. There's always a bit of grief and love. And Bella may look hard on her exterior. I'm sure you might have seen her runway shows before, like a siren face, and she has a glazed exterior, but most people are shocked to find her very kind, very nice, and very open. So my controversial moment of the day, my cancelable take. I think that Bella Hadid is an it girl. Yes, that's not controversial. I'm sure it's a commonly held opinion, but I'm gonna list out why. And now that we know the background of Bella Hadid, let me tell you why. Please don't attack me. I'm gonna touch on 3 points. Don't attack me. 1, she's the supermodel that we need. Sorry, Cara Delevingne, but 2, she's kind and not stuck up. She's very down to earth. 3, her style is very distinct. Bella Hadid has the high fashion looks that people have been craving, or maybe just fashion girlies have been craving.
Hey queen, girl, you have done it again.
Me going up to Bella Hadid, hey twin. Do you know that meme where people are like, when ugly people call you twin? That's me and Bella Hadid. In the 90s, we saw models such as Naomi Campbell, Linda Evangelista, Chrissy Turlington, Kate Moss, Cindy Crawford, Carla Bruni. These women were supermodels, and the fall of the supermodel happened in the 90s, where actresses started taking center stage. The thing about supermodels is that they're full of personalities, and personalities that kind of conquer the stage or the runway. And sometimes it upstaged the clothes that they were wearing, and a lot of designers started reeling back because they wanted the clothes to speak for themselves. When the supermodels started phasing out, there were no supermodels to replace them. No one could be as recognizable in that sense. The fashion sphere still had models. The models didn't disappear, but supermodels were never given birth to. It's also funny because Linda Evangelista also said that she wouldn't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day, which is very opposite of the model world, because supermodels make that much, but models typically don't. When Anna Wintour, dun dun dun, did y'all hear that? Boom, boom, boom. Anna? When Anna Wintour took over Vogue, she shifted the covers from models to pop stars and actresses like Madonna for Vogue, October 1996. Since January 1998, Vogue has had covers mostly of celebrities, majority celebrities over models. Not to mention, also the Vogue covers are kind of fugly. Let's talk about Vogue covers US. Let me just make that distinction clear, because come on. Let me take out the receipts. What is this? Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful picture, but is it Vogue cover worthy? Get out of my face. Come on. Have y'all seen the covers of other Vogues across the nations? Like, there should be a UN meeting for Vogue, I swear. Why did Anna Wintour do that? Because when you have models on the magazine, you don't make as much money. People are more likely to pick up a Vogue cover that has Kim Kardashian in it, because Kim Kardashian is generally a beloved figure. I'm saying generally. People have their opinions, but people will pick up a cover of someone they know. And models, yes, they're models. There's not supermodels as much anymore. People are less likely to pick them up. When Madonna was featured, sales went up by 41%. For Vogue. And also couture houses prefer their models to be rather anonymous. And that's not all the time, but majority of the time it works better in their favor. Few people look up to models now. If you're not into fashion, you probably don't care about models. And more people look up to influencers and celebrities, actresses, people they generally connect to more. With influencers who appeal to certain niches and have audiences who look up to them because of their interests. And relatability, why have models? Models don't have to be a household name anymore. Anyone essentially can be a model in their own way. So this is my argument as to why Bella Hadid is a supermodel, or at the very least, if you don't agree with me, the closest thing to what a supermodel is. What makes a supermodel in the first place? Today, Campbell, Crawford, Evangelista, and Turlington are regarded as the original supermodels. This is what people generally consider to make someone a supermodel. For example, me, up-and-coming supermodel. See me on the cover of Vogue soon. The 13th month Vogue cover. 1. Transcending the model sphere. Models who are recognizable outside of the fashion sphere and can have generally the average person recognize who they are, I would consider to be treading the line of being a supermodel because their fame has transcended niches. 2. Money. Duh. Supermodels are not making pennies, okay? I don't think supermodels are shopping at a Dollar Tree. If they were an ethical model. Unfortunately for me, I do shop at Dollar Tree, but I'm just a humble supermodel. Most models on a day-to-day basis don't make that much money. And I don't think that's a big secret. The median amount, according to salary.com, the most reputable source of salaries, is generally $52,000, which is about an average salary, I guess, in the US, probably a little higher. But it's not a lot. And based on first-hand accounts, most of the time models are not being paid consistently. It leans more so in the freelance at times. A supermodel is making way more, signing million-dollar contracts, campaigning for a lot of high-fashion luxury brands. In 2018, Bella made $8.5 million. So yes, check please. 3. Claudia Schiffer stated in 2007 that in order to become a supermodel, one must be on all the covers all over the world at the same time so that people can recognize the girls. So my argument to that is over the span of 4 years, Hadid has made 27 appearances on International Vogue magazine covers. Sure, not at the same time for Vogue, right? Different months. Different places. Who's to say that we can't walk down the street and find her on the cover of something? 4. Are you freaking kidding me? My air conditioning started. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. 4 is star factor. This one's very hard to define, but I think this might be controversial, but I think this can be laid out by simply stating Kendall Jenner versus Bella Hadid. I'm generally kind of kidding, depending on how much hate you give me. I'm kidding. But I think if we're comparing the model quality of the two, I think Bella aligns more so with haute couture, and Kendall seems to linger in confusion. The thing about Kendall that's very interesting to me, if we're comparing what people can also regard as a supermodel, if we're doing that standard, is that she's kind of so out of touch. I think at one point she mentions that she doesn't take every show. She doesn't take every job that comes to her. Whatever, okay? Whatever. Girl, grow up. But also, who remembers the Pepsi commercial thing that happened? If you don't remember it, the brief rundown is that Kendall participated in a Pepsi commercial where she tried to solve racism by opening a can of Coke. No, Coke. Oh my God, Pepsi. Whoa, I'm about to get sued. She tried to solve racism and police brutality with her very generous ways. Aww. I think being so out of touch and also being tied to the Kardashians kind of ruins the high fashion eye of Kendall Jenner. And she also doesn't have the skill set, I would say, to make it as a high fashion supermodel. There's only so much you can do as a model before you begin to falter if you don't put any effort into being a model. And that's kind of my argument with Kendall Jenner, is that, okay, With those 4 points, I also want to bring up Gigi Hadid, Bella Hadid's sister. I think the difference between Gigi and Bella Hadid and the it girl status is defined by perception. Gigi is technically slightly more famous than Bella. She has more cover, she's paid slightly more, and Gigi is very beautiful traditionally. She has blonde hair, she has blue-green eyes, she's taller at 5'11". She has a face that everyone can agree is objectively beautiful. The difference with Bella is she gives off a very otherworldly look. Almost alien-like, but not in a bad way at all. It's very unique. And she just has an air of cool around her, you know, being confident in how she looks, because not only is she beautiful, but like she acts like she knows she's beautiful. And also, let's compare the street style of the two. Bella is very unique in terms of her style. Like she says, she knows what she wants. She dresses very Y2K. She wears a lot of vintage designer luxury brands, but they're not overtly luxury. They might have a print that says, I don't know, Chloe on it. You know, but it's not like walking down the street in like head to toe Gucci kind of thing, if that makes sense. Gigi, if you look at her street style, is very girl next door look, very everyday girl can appeal to look. Like if you showed her picture to someone in the Midwest, I'm sorry you're in the Midwest, but if you show her picture to them, they'd be like, oh my God, she's serving. They probably wouldn't say serving. I don't know if they know what that word means, but they'd be like, oh my God, I want to wear that. According to the standards I've listed before, Gigi can be considered a supermodel. I think Gigi's a supermodel too, and so is Bella, but Bella is an it girl in addition to being a supermodel because she offers something new. She's the supermodel that we've been craving, and we see her do so well in campaigns, always doing something interesting. People comment on the fact that she looks different in every campaign because she's so versatile. Like she's so good at her job, and it's very evident she is. She's always on time, she's nice, she's an it girl. And I think at the end of the day, being nice goes a long way. I think that's why everyone who meets Bella Hadid has a good experience with her, and that lasting impression at times is more important than simply looking good. So yeah, if you like fashion, subscribe because I like fashion too. And I might not be the best fashionista, but I am one of them. And that should be enough. Time for an outfit check. The top? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. The top is, hold on. Oh God. The top is Issey Miyake, pleats please. The necklace is Vivienne Westwood because duh. Okay, the pants is Chloe by Stella McCartney, 2001 fall winter. Yeah, I said it. And my shoes, I don't want to talk about my shoes because I don't want to wear shoes in my home.